I have been using this for a while now, so I figured I would share some thoughts. This is one of those full-size massage chairs that tries to cover your whole body in one session, instead of just doing a basic back massage. If you spend a lot of your day at a desk, if your lower back gets tight after driving, if you train a few days a week and your legs get sore, or if you just want something you can sit in at night and let it run, that is basically the kind of person I think this chair makes sense for. I have days where my shoulders feel stuck from working at a computer, and other days where my lower back feels tired from being on my feet. I have been using this chair in both situations, and it has been pretty consistent about helping me loosen up. The reason I think it is interesting is not because it does one trick. It is more that the chair combines a long roller path with the recline position and the air compression in a way that actually feels coordinated. A lot of chairs I have tried either have rollers that feel like they stop too early, or they recline, but the massage starts to feel weaker when you lean back. Here, the roller movement stays engaged even when I am laid back, and the chair does a decent job of keeping contact with my back. In person, it looks modern but not flashy. The two-tone color scheme is the first thing I noticed. It is mostly brown with a brassy gold-looking accent, and it reads like furniture, not like a piece of gym equipment. The material surprised me in a good way. On the main contact points, like where my head rests and where my back sits, it feels soft and not plasticky. It still feels like synthetic upholstery, but it is the kind that does not feel rough on skin, and it does not make that loud squeaky sound when you shift around. After longer sessions, I do not get that sticky feeling I have gotten with some cheaper synthetic coverings. When I sit down, the seat and the sides kind of guide me into place. It hugs more than a normal recliner, but it does not feel like I am being pinched. I am about 5 feet 8 inches, and I have plenty of room in the shoulder area and the leg area. The chair has enough adjustment that I can see it working for someone taller than me, and the way the leg section extends means I am not left with my feet hanging off the end. If you are broad in the shoulders, you will notice the sides, but I would not call it cramped. It is more like the chair is trying to keep you lined up so the rollers do not miss your spine. The first time I ran it, I was paying attention to the roller track. The rollers start up at the neck area and travel down the back toward the hips. That matters because my problem area is usually lower back tension, and some chairs never really reach the place I actually want worked on. Here, when the rollers travel down, I can feel them follow the curve of my back instead of pressing in a straight line. When my lower back is stiff, I usually want slow pressure more than fast tapping, and I found myself using the kneading style most often, then switching to a more focused mode for a few minutes when I find a tight spot. The zero-gravity recline is something I thought I might not care about, but I ended up using it constantly. When the chair leans you back and raises your legs, the pressure changes. The best way I can describe it is that my body weight spreads out, and my lower back stops feeling like it is carrying the load. I do not get dizzy from it, but the transition is noticeable. I usually let it recline, take a breath, and then start adjusting intensity. If I start the massage while I am still upright, it can feel a little more aggressive. When I am reclined, the same roller pressure feels more controlled and easier to tolerate. The space-saving part is real in day-to-day use. I have this in a living area where I cannot pull furniture far from the wall. With this chair, I can keep it fairly close and still recline without having to drag it forward every time. In a smaller room, that changes whether you can realistically live with a chair like this. It still takes up space, and it is still a big piece of furniture, but it is not the kind that forces you to rearrange the room every time you want to use it. Air compression is a big part of how this chair feels, especially on the arms and legs. The chair squeezes in cycles around the shoulders, arms, hips, calves, and feet. The pressure is adjustable, and for me the middle setting is the most useful. On the highest setting, it can feel a little too tight around the calves if I have been walking a lot that day. On the lower setting, it is more of a gentle squeeze that keeps you from shifting around too much. When the rollers are working my back and the shoulder air cushions inflate, it sort of steadies my upper body, so the roller pressure feels more consistent instead of sliding off to the side. The foot and calf section is one of those things you either use a lot or you ignore. I use it a lot. After workouts or long walks, the calf compression feels like it helps with that heavy leg feeling. The foot area is more of a steady pressure and movement than a precise foot massage. It feels good, but it is not the same as hands. I treat it like a nice add-on, not a replacement for a real foot massage. Heat is focused around the lower back area. I use it almost every session. It is not the kind of heat that feels scorching. It is more like a steady warmth that helps me relax into the massage. On colder days, I notice the difference more. Without heat, my back can feel like it is resisting the rollers at the start. With heat on, the first few minutes feel smoother, like my muscles stop bracing. Controls are a mix of simple and slightly busy. There are quick controls on the chair for basic actions like starting, pausing, and changing recline. For everything else, you are using the remote. The remote is not hard, but it has enough options that I did need a couple sessions to build muscle memory. I had moments early on where I thought I changed one setting but actually changed something else. Then I had to stop and correct it. After a week or two, I was able to adjust intensity, switch techniques, and move the roller focus without thinking too much. In daily use, my routine looks like this. If I have shoulder tension from desk work, I run a program that focuses more on upper back. Then I manually move the roller area a little higher and slow it down. If I have lower back tightness, I use zero gravity, turn on heat, and keep the roller pressure moderate. If I have leg soreness, I bump up the air compression for calves and feet and let the chair do a longer cycle. I usually do this in the evening, and I have noticed it is easier for me to fall asleep after, not because it knocks me out, but because I am less tense in my back and hips. For smart features, there is Bluetooth audio. I paired it with my phone quickly, and it stays connected as long as I do not wander too far away. The speakers are fine for background sound. I would not use them for serious music listening, but for a podcast-style talk, ambient music, or a video playing quietly, it does the job. There is also a charging port for your phone, which is one of those small things that becomes useful because you are sitting there for a while. I can set my phone down, charge it, and not worry about getting up mid-session. One thing to know is that the chair is heavy. I was able to move it with the built-in wheels by tilting it and rolling it, but I still would not want to carry it upstairs without help. When it arrived, setup was not complicated. It was mostly already assembled. I basically had to place it where I wanted it, plug it in, and do a quick check before running a session. The bigger practical issue is doorways and tight corners. If you are thinking about one of these, measure your entry path. That matters more than almost anything else. As far as performance goes, it feels strongest on the back and lower back because the rollers can really dig in there. It is also good at the general full body feeling when you combine rollers, recline, and air compression. It is less convincing if you want super precise work on small areas, like a very specific spot near the shoulder blade. You can guide the focus, but it is still a chair, so it does not have the adaptability of a person. Another limitation is noise. It is not loud, but you do hear the rollers and air pumps. I can still watch television at a normal volume, but it is not silent. Over time, the biggest positive for me has been consistency. I can sit down, run a session, and get a predictable result. My back feels looser, my shoulders drop, and my legs feel less heavy if I use the compression. The chair does not magically fix pain, and I do not treat it like medical equipment, but for daily tension and stiffness, it has become something I actually use instead of something that just sits in the corner. If you are the kind of person who likes strong pressure, you will probably spend time adjusting intensity and finding the right technique. If you are sensitive to pressure, you will want to start lower than you think and work up. I also think it rewards a little patience. The more you learn what each mode feels like on your body, the easier it is to get a session that fits what you need that day. Overall, I like it because it feels like a practical tool for recovery and relaxation at home. It looks fine in a normal room. It is comfortable to sit in. The roller path reaches the areas I care about, and the zero gravity position is something I ended up using every time. It has some quirks, like the learning curve with controls and the fact that it is a big heavy chair, but in regular use, those have been manageable. Check the comments of this video for a link to see the current pricing of the Relaxe Zero Gravity Shiatsu massage chair. Thank you for watching.